Memo Writing Guidelines for ME 263 by Zachary Koppelman. Thank you for viewing Memo Writing Guidelines for ME 263. This vidcast is specifically written for students in Mechanical Engineering 263 at Purdue University. The contents and details in this vidcast are class specific. Therefore, if you are viewing this vidcast and are not in ME 263, please consult your instructor for specific information on memo writing. The memos you will be writing in ME 263 are intended to resemble common documents you will encounter in a corporate environment. These memos are not exactly the same as everything you will compose, but they are accurate approximations. When you move beyond this course, you will want to verify the exact format preferred by your instructor or supervisor. For ME 263, you will need to follow some simple but important formatting guidelines. First, be consistent with names and group names. If you are turning in an individual memo, include only your name with the group name on the front line. If you are working on a group memo, make sure you use exactly the same group name as before, include every group member's name, and make sure to spell names correctly. This may sound tedious and bothersome, but how you write and present your writing demonstrates your attitude. If writing is sloppy, it indicates the author doesn't care enough to do a good job, doesn't respect the audience enough to be consistent. Second, include the deliverable number and name in the subject line. Subject lines are important because they give the reader an idea of what they need to think about. Your readers are not in your group and have other projects competing for their time. If a subject line does not quickly orientate the reader into the topic and purpose, the reader may not read it as carefully or not understand the value of the information. Also, on a practical note, including the deliverable number and name helps ensure that you receive the correct grade on each assignment. Third, memos are meant to be short, to-the-point documents, generally 1 to 3 pages. That means you need to clearly and directly state the purpose, the scope, explain the major details, connect everything logically, and refer to additional sources for the finer resolution details. Understanding how much detail to include and what highlights are needed is a learned skill. The more you think about it and the more you work on projects, the better you become at it. At this point in your work, being able to think about the purpose of the memo and tailor your writing to address the audience's needs is a perfect starting point and foundation. Always put yourself in your audience's place before you send out a document. If you receive a document like the one you composed, how would you react? Yes, this is a time-consuming and difficult task, but your effort will show in your work. You should always strive to be your best in all of your writing. Here is an example. Say you're working on a boat lift for a resort in Florida. The project manager requests a quick update, so you prepare a 9-page report that lays out the exact measurements of the lift, the load requirements to within a half a pound, the color of the boom, and the brand name and rating of the winch system. In all likelihood, the project manager will not get past the first page. She hired you to take care of those fine resolution details. She needs the highlights. Instead of 9 pages of technical measurements, write a 1-page memo explaining that the boat lift portion of the project is on schedule, that some changes were made to the requirements of the winch system, and that you have concerns about the load rating of the cables. Then, you attach more detailed technical discussions of the changes and concerns. If the project manager wants to read the more technical discussions, she can, but now she has the information she needs to make an informed decision. Finally, revise your memos carefully. Do not turn in a memo with hand-marked corrections. That again displays a lack of respect. Grammar and punctuation may be tedious and confusing, but errors stand out. There are multiple resources to assist you in learning and refreshing how to edit and revise. Take the time to learn how to properly punctuate a sentence. It shows that you care enough about the project, and thus your work and job, to take the time to polish your writing. It is entirely possible that the only contact you will ever have with some coworkers and peers is through written communication. If you receive a poorly written and sloppy report, you may form a negative impression of the author. Don't give anyone reason to think poorly of you or your work. Edit and revise carefully. If you have any questions, please talk to your TA. This has been Memo Writing Guidelines for ME 263 by Zachary Koppelman, in cooperation with the Purdue Online Writing Lab and prepared for the Mechanical Engineering Writing Enhancement Program.